Hello everyone, Exerfix here. In this video we'll analyze the 54th episode. I will also talk about all the details, secrets, and passphrases of this series, so watch the video from beginning to end, so as not to miss anything important. The series starts quite unusual in a way. Cute. We see cameraman who holds a tablet together with a picture. He is looking at it carefully that he does not even pay attention to the battlefield around him. After a moment we see the content of this picture. It was a picture of TV Woman from Series 49. It turns out that all agents have access to old recordings, or he was the cameraman of the last series. That's why his record was preserved in it, because we have not seen the click of the picture, but it can be invisible, which does not allow us to see how they do it. Only after showing TV Titan in 66 series, we realize that their data is stored somewhere, because of which if you take possession of the device, you can find out all the information about the agents, especially if you watch the past series. There is not once died our operator, which allowed to hide the ability to control the head without a body. Yes, died other agents, but Titan or allies, all defeated in the region. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, put a like and a bell, to show notifications about our new videos. At that time it was very good that this series had a love line, because with the advent of horizontal video, we began to see the development of the characters themselves, and now already has several love couples. Only this particular agent could not get that her. Now we do not know where he is. Perhaps he was never rescued because he thought only about TV Woman, instead of following orders, because of which they did not help him, because she could have saved both of them that time. If you pay attention to the background, you can understand that cameraman is still successfully advancing, because all the Skibidi are running away. After seeing all the agents in episode 50, it only gave them more morale, because cameraman is back and hope is back again. Despite the beginning of the season, the organization kept winning. It was related to one of the bosses who was badly damaged by a Titan, so our cameraman made a gesture that said, "It's no time for love. We have a serious war going on." So our lover realized the seriousness of what was going on and hid the tablet so it wouldn't bother him anymore. He pointed at the enemy who was flying right at him, but the enemy didn't expect to see the new gun he has, which works the same way as the TV Woman's screen. They have very similar abilities. Only this electric charge hits the whole body. We can see how the agent wanted to teach him a lesson, but why the stroking on the head? I think it's because he wants to bring everything back or remember the past where they lived in peace. Then he hit him with the palm of his hand, because it's not right to attack from under the hedge. By actions, the author could have added this scene to show us the effectiveness of this weapon. The operator is not even afraid to get close to the Skibidi. When our character raises his head, in front of us stands an aggressive spider with a gun at the bottom. He tries to kill him with it. Only we do not see the bullets. It turns out they may be invisible or made of air. Besides, the agent did not run away from the place. Maybe it was just a decoy that needed to buy time, but she could have done more, for example, by coming down and attacking them. Then he was destroyed with an energy stick. After a few frames, we recognize the big cameraman who was in episode 53, where for some reason he stood there and did not help in any way with the Astro Toilet. He could have done the same thing as in this episode, but in the end, he just watched. Behind his back, he had a second shelf which confirms his identity. After a successful hit, he shows a thumbs up saying that the job is over and everything ended successfully. We see a scene where his head is destroyed. The first time we saw him appear was in episode 29. Many have a question. Where has he been missing all this time? I think his main job was to destroy the enemies that stood in his way. I don't think we would have been interested in watching easy battles, so he was left for the epic scene. However, here he has been fine-tuned as his movement looks more controlled. In a couple of seconds he took off the head of several agents, which in turn attracted TV Woman. She came to dispose of the threat. Perhaps she is programmed to teleport to the agents as soon as they start dying en masse. If the cameraman are made of metal, then they have a sensor that sends a signal to the control center when they get damaged, or one of the remaining partners decide to inform her or the organization that there is a strong enemy here. You can see by her face that she doesn't understand what's going on while being angry and shocked that in a few seconds, several agents lost their lives at once, She couldn't even expect his head to be blown off as well. But we already know that her head can work separately from her body, so she didn't get lost and decided to use her ability around to catch him. Interesting fact, she could have known about the attack, because to separate her head, she has to disconnect it first. Otherwise, he would have broken the parts that would allow her to do that, which didn't put her head back in her body. After a couple of rounds, she was able to do this and leave this character, which gave hit a dart to his head to destroy. TV woman thanked for the help. After looking at the savior, we see a new kind of technology. She is an exoskeleton with various weapons. By the way, her we have not even now once seen. He put a thumb up, as a sign of victory over one of the strong enemies. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and put a notification so you don't miss our videos. One of which was shot. On the right, we see a material cannon. Below him, something like a flamethrower, like a Titan. On the left below is a regular rifle. In the background, we see a guard of engineers who will treat the injured agents. After we see how the agent runs to his love to hug and thank for the rescue. But at the last moment, she teleported. Because of this, he began to feel sad. She has a lot of things to do to chill with someone, so we saw her leaving soon. Especially he was hiding all the time. I think she just had no interest in him. Now let's summarize. At that time, we all thought that TV agents are traitors, because they hide a lot and do not help much. Only the main reason was in the Titan, which was fixed because it is their leader. But in this series, TV woman was able to prove, except for the damaged big cameraman, which should have already been fixed, and did not appear to everyone. It turns out he is still in the laboratory, where he is improving or, on the contrary, helping engineers. Interesting facts about the series. A lot of series never came out in short. It turns out the author wants to tell us something, because he still posted 54 series after the release of 2 series, perhaps the secret in some events in future episodes, or how correctly should have stood series. But in the end, had to put them first. Also, the author himself. No comment on the love between them. It turns out these are just a coincidence, or it should have been temporary, because it was the first time in the series where there was love. Usually Defook comments on it or hints, but in the end, we saw only a broken heart. He could show it, to reject love in robots. Only in the new series. We see it, among the new cool agents. In the end, I want to say about Defook. He changed his policy of secrecy, as if he wants to be noticed by other factions. He helps both sides, but mostly agents. Why he does it all is not clear, but his not afraid of death is something. It turns out he is immortal or can see the future, which helps him not to be afraid of attacks around. Well, that's the end of the video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next videos.